Provide the most accurate evaluations at Crown Jewels and Coin and pay you the highest prices. There's even no credit check, interest-free financing at Albuquerque's family jeweler for over 50 years. Crown Jewels and Coin, for all you treasure.
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to El Dorado High School. Welcome to this presentation on ProView Networks. Richard Tripp and Mr. Tom Dragmeister with you. And there are rivalries, and then there are rivalries. And today we've got one of the best, perhaps in all of high school sports in the state of New Mexico. Not only two teams, but arguably, perhaps, we know the best pitcher in the state of New Mexico going up against what might be the second or third best pitcher in the state of New Mexico. So, Tom, welcome. Should be a good one.
It should be. I mean, these two have gone ever since La Cueva was built and took half of El Dorado's students. They've been rivals.
You know,
and, of course, right now, there's a lot of teams with one good pitcher, but there's not many teams with two or three. So that's going to, at the end of the year, that's going to come down to winning state, whoever's their backup pitchers and relievers, that's going to tell us who's going to win state.
Well, you look at this lineup here today, and we do have Nate Garley going up against Jonathan Stroman. You would think right off the bat, here we go, a 1-0 game. Somebody, both these are exceptional pitchers. Garley right now is flat out on fire. As far you and I saw Stroman a couple of weeks ago up at Rio Rancho, he threw lights out.
Yeah,
that's always a perception when you get Drysdale and Koufax on the line type pitchers, man.
And that even happened last year. I believe they faced off in the state tournament too when Garley pitched a one-hitter, I believe, against La Cueva, and and Stroman pitched a real good game, but it wound up. I can't remember the score, but it was low scoring.
Right. So here we go. Also, District 2, 6A. There's these two teams. Then you have Sandia, who's also in the mix. Can't forget about Manzano and Highland, but it starts at the top. It starts with El Dorado. Then it goes over to La Cueva, who got hot there for a while over in the Rio Rancho tournament again. And then Sandia, who people say, are they playing under emotion because of their coach right now, or is it just a good, solid team? I think it's a good, solid team myself.
It's probably a combination of both, Rich. I mean, yeah, they're probably playing hard for their coach, who everybody knows by now that he's battling cancer. And Coach Gunther, he's just a straight-up guy, and he'll battle it just as hard as he can. You can only do so much, and he'll do everything you can. So I'm sure it's a combination of both. And Sandia's always had good baseball talent, and so they've been around quite a while, and they've won their share of games against both of these teams. So I think it'll be very exciting.
We get a little tongue-tied there. So we come back to this game again. These two teams, of course, if you look at the district championships, except for a few years ago when Sandia, who actually played in the state championship game against Rio Rancho, won the district title. But these two teams have kind of taken turns, I guess you can say, even there for a while, taking turns winning state banners for a while. So talk about tradition.
I believe there's like 4 teams, I think, that have won. There hasn't been anybody else win a state championship in New Mexico for, I can't remember, it's in the 20-year era.
Right.
Just by looking at the scoreboard, you can tell El Dorado in the 1990s and early 2000s, they were pretty much dominant. But then La Cueva they had the national record for consecutive wins when they won it a couple years in a row, and then of course Farmington was the other one in Carlsbad. I mean those 4 teams had won every state championship in the last, I can't remember how many years it was, but they were talking about that at the Rio Rancho tournament.
Both teams are coming out to take their stand on third and first base. We're going to pause here momentarily and step aside for the playing of the national anthem. We'll come back with the lineups and all the particulars following our national anthem. And welcome back, everybody, to playing of our national anthem. Let's go through this afternoon's lineups. Let's start with the visitors, the La Cueva Bears. Their head coach, Gerard Panetta. Zach Panetta, the shortstop, will lead it off, followed by Ryan Johnson will be playing left field. Stone Romero will be behind the dish. Isaac Standridge will be in right. Darren Boren will be the DH. He's batting for Stroman, the pitcher. Ryan Phillips will play out in center. Derek Trujillo is the second baseman. Brian Fitzgerald will be at first, and Justin Stagner will be at third base. El Dorado, coached by legendary coach, of course, Hall of Fame coach, soon to be Jim Johns, over 500 victories in his young career. Chase Jackson is going to lead it off, the shortstop. Zach Groves will be in left. Nate Garley up on the hill. Gavin Hurtrich will be at second. Christian Ohola will be at first. Micah Sanchez behind the dish. Garrett Ham at third. Cole Shopke will be at the DH, and Matt Roselle, center fielder. When I look at the El Dorado lineup, and it hasn't changed over 3 years. Or
No,
so it
still-
appears.
You still see the same names, yeah.
You know, that's what surprises me about this lineup here. You know, you ready for some exciting baseball?
We're ready, man. This should be a good one, and of course, it's an important one early in the season here in the district. And we got both the starters are both the number one pitchers for each team. So they both want it, you know that. And,
Yep.
It's not the first time these two have met. It's kind of strange that Stroman's going to get pinch hit or DH for, because he's
Right.
usually one of their better hitters also.
He's got some fantastic wheels as well if he gets on base. Garley finishing up his warm-up tosses defensively for El Dorado. Of course, Garley up on the hill. Micah Sanchez behind the dish. In the outfield, left to right, will be Groves, Roselle, and Lujan. Ham, Jackson, Hurtrich, and Ohola at first base. Temperature hovering around the 75-degree mark as we get set for the first pitch. Beautiful view as you see the Sandia Mountain straight ahead. Right over the big green monster in dead center field.
Right, a little similarity to Fenway Park.
Yep.
Not quite as big and not in the right position, but that's where the hitters will get a lot better look at the ball at the green background, so that's why they put it up there. Of course, they added the fence a little higher in left field, and so it makes it a little tougher anyway.
Yep. The ball has a tendency, over my history of doing games here, has a tendency, it'll jump out in left field.
Yeah, and usually the wind's blowing, out of the west, so it's going to be a hitter's. Today the flags, it's blowing a little bit, but really not a strong wind. I don't believe it's going to help any balls get out of the park right now.
Here's Jack Panetta is going to lead it off. He has an on-base percentage somewhere around 1 million. It seems like he loves to set that table on the first pitch. Swing and a miss, and we're underway here at El Dorado.
Yep, Garley's going to come hard.
Big, tall right-hander standing straight up. Gets a signal from Sanchez and the 0-1 and hit the other way, and it's out of play in the count, 0-2. Early on, you think if you're El Dorado, of course, as we know, they're pretty much under Gerard Panetta, pretty much a free swinging team. They'll go up there and take their hacks. But
Yeah, I mean, both of these coaches are really fundamentalists, though, too. I mean, if they get somebody on, they're going to try to get them over and get them in. It's the old baseball since the aluminum bats are gone.
Garley has his first strikeout of the afternoon as Panetta goes down to Hacken. And here is Ryan Johnson, the left fielder.
Number 15, Ryan Johnson.
So you kind of look again, and you think, as we said at the top, this game with two pitchers such as this, 1-0, well, they've got some pretty good hitters in those lineups as well. So we're just underway, and we'll figure it all out here in about an hour or so. Away, ball one.
Or they'll figure it out for us, Rich. Look, Cueva doesn't have its usual power hitting team and all
No.
that. They're not quite the hitters they have been in the past.
Ball away, and the count evens up. Crowd starting to filter in little by little, just getting out of work. And man, finally, except for the breeze, finally getting to that springtime weather.
Yeah, we had a couple of weeks there where it was blowing. I know at Rio Rancho we did.
1 and 2. Well, that Rio Rancho tournament, I mean, I thought I was back in winter up in, my hometown of Las Vegas up there. I thought, man, I got to bring gloves and a parka. It was warmer during the state basketball tournament than it was for a baseball
I thought I was
tournament.
back up at Escalante doing a football game.
1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch from Garley. And Johnson staying alive, and the count stays 1 and 2.
Yeah, Garley's getting ahead of his hitters. He's only thrown 1 ball to 2 different batters, and that's always better on a pitcher, boy, if he gets ahead and he can throw his own pitches in.
Johnson ready, Garley ready, looks in at Micah Sanchez. Playing him to shade it towards the right field side as the center fielder, Matt Rosal, shades him to hit towards that way. And for a moment, Johnson stepped out. Garley back up. The wind in the pitch. Just missed, and
Yep.
Micah tried to frame it. Home plate umpire wouldn't bite.
Good pitch. It just missed the outside a little bit, but it was a great pitch, especially a 1 and 2 count. That's the kind of ball you want to throw in there, and maybe the batter will bite for it. He darn near did too.
Garley ready to go to work again. Count even, 2 and 2. Got him on the inside corner. And Johnson goes down looking, and here comes Stone Romero, the catcher.
Your catcher, number 5, Stone
Beautiful
Romero.
pitch right on the inside corner. They call that a Rembrandt. Well, that's a masterpiece right there. 2 up and 2 Ks.
Yep. Nothing out of the ordinary for Garley.
Nope. So 2 down, and Romero steps in with Stanridge on deck in case. Third baseman Ham's going to back up. Pitches away, ball 1. Not to mention the juices maybe flowing a little bit more whenever you play your rival and you got a couple of aces going head to head. Just makes it that much more interesting and exciting. Count evens. And of course your defenses, of course, feel that much more confident as well.
That's right. Yeah, and of course El Dorado is a hitter's park. The fences aren't very deep, so the outfield looks like they're playing deep, but they're playing pretty normal.
Yeah.
You don't see many switches in high school like you do in the pros now, where they put 3 guys on one side of the infield and all that.
Right. Pretty much play it straight up. Garley ready, and here it is. Balled away, 1 and 2.
He's ahead again, which is a great sign early in the ball game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. We get a nice little gust of wind into the press
Just we
box.
talked about the wind not blowing. We're closing the windows up here in the press box.
Garley again stands tall. Here's the 1-2. Right at the second baseman. Hurrich up with it over to first, and 3 up. 3 down. Nothing happening for La Cueva in their top half of the first. We'll go to the bottom half. El Dorado coming up. You're watching El Dorado La Cueva right here on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
We go to the bottom. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Due up for El Dorado will be Chase Jackson, Groves, and Garley. Tom, you got a special shout-out to give.
Yeah, and Mr. Metzger, I was told, is in the hospital, and they said he'd be able to watch the game today, so I want to put a shout-out to him. Hope he gets better. I don't know what he's in for, but I do know that he's in the hospital, and he's going to get better. He's a tough guy. I've known him for a long time.
I always say this when I do a game with you. Is there anybody you don't know?
Yeah, I'm sure there's people
A
who wish I
couple?
didn't know.
Defensively for La Cueva, let's go in the outfield left to right. It'll be Johnson, Phillips, and Stanrich. In the infield, Stagner, Pineda, Trujillo, Fitzgerald, Stone Romero behind, and Mr. Jonathan Stroman up on the hill.
Well, and he was pretty much fastball at Rio Rancho when we saw him. He gave up a run in the first inning, and then he retired 19 straight batters from the
Leading off for the Eagles this afternoon,
second
shortstop,
inning on.
number 7, Jace Jackson.
Chase Jackson steps in, the shortstop. Here's a story in itself with Mr. Jackson. I mean, the quarterback on this year's football team.
Yeah, they sure missed him. I mean, he tried to play in the championship game, but
Right.
he got hurt the week before, and he wasn't at full strength, and it really hurt the Eagles.
Talking to his dad here before the game, and nice conversation with him, talking about the good year that he's had, except for that one game, as he said. And Jackson goes up there a hacking in the count, 0-1. Jim Johns coaching down at third. And you can go on and on and on and talking about his career.
Good old number 14. You know, he's a Pete Rose fan. That's why he wears number 14.
Outside corner, 0-2. Didn't know that. Now, is he a Reds fan or just a Pete Rose fan? So is he petitioning to have Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame? Is that why?
You know, we don't really talk about it too much. I think it kind of hurt him when all that happened to him. What made him a Pete Rose fan is how well Pete Rose played the game.
Trujillo comes up with the first out, and stepping in with Zach Groves, the left fielder.
Batting the left fielder, number 22, Zach Groves.
I know we had a good conversation one time as well, and didn't know he enjoys that fishing, camping, likes to get out there in the
Oh, yeah.
outdoors. And
Him and Coach Pekorski, that's what he does now for a living up there. He goes and sees him and every year, and he even helps him on some of that stuff.
Groves with a slicing single to left. In steps the pitcher, Garley. And now the wind kind of dies down. He kind of figures.
Yeah, it's kind of on and off, and I don't think it's really too high, but looking over the dugout, the Eagle flag is it's blowing a little more than the one out in center field.
Stroman looks in as catcher is Stone Romero. Of course, he'll pinch the middle looking for the ground ball. First pitch to Garley, and here it is. Went away with it, and the count 1-0.
Yeah, he threw him a curveball there. He started him out with the curveball.
Down at first is Groves, who sliced one to left center field. Stroman set right at the belt. Here's a pitch on the outside corner. Garley agrees, and the count's 1-1. Center fielder Phillips straight up with the bag. Stanrich showing respect out in right, playing a little deep. Chopped down the third base line, and it's going to go fall in the count 1-2. Like I said, maybe the fences aren't that deep. When you see a right fielder, though, like Stanrich playing that deep, that's pretty good respect for the hitter.
Yeah, well, he's got plenty of power. Last game I saw here, he won in the left center, and that baby was gone at the crack of the bat. It was out of here.
And the pitch from Stroman. Chopped again, and it gets through for a base hit. So back-to-back singles for El Dorado. And Gavin Hurtrich is going to step in.
Yeah, that was a tweener. It wasn't hit that hard, but he hit it right in the right spot. And, of course, we got first and second with one out.
Cleanup hitter up, the second baseman. like you said, both these teams and both these coaches they coach so fundamentally. Doubt it though early in this game with the cleanup hitter up and
Yeah, he's already got a runner in scoring position. If you bunt him over to third, then there's 2 outs and a fly ball won't bring him in. So
Christian Holo's on deck. Meeting is over. Stagner's going to play up just on the edge of the grass at third, just in case.
They're in double play depth. The whole infield is. Pineda's backing up a little now, but he started in.
Timeout is called. So we reset. Stroman will get his signal from Romero to go again. To the right side and a base hit. They're going to hold him, and they're going to be juiced. 3 consecutive singles, and Christian Holo, the first baseman, is going to step in.
Now batting the first baseman, number 17, Christian Holland.
He's a big lefty. Looks like he's about 6'2" or 3, but I don't know.
6'5", we're told.
6'5".
He looks bigger than that.
Yeah, he's a big
Oh,
boy.
that's what it
yeah.
is.
His dad's sitting here. He told us exactly how big he was. He could probably tell us how much he weighs, too.
Stroman set. And another single.
Base hit.
4 consecutive singles. And Aldorado's on the board first with an RBI single. Micah Sanchez, the catcher, is going to step up.
Now batting your catcher, number 10.
Just like that. Fundamental baseball, station to station. And Mr. Pineda is going to come out and have a meeting with Mr. Stroman.
Yeah, I saw in the paper where Stroman came in like in the 6th or 7th inning this past week, and he gave up like 4 runs, and they lost the ball game. I don't know how much of that he pitched, but he did come in and pitch it.
Judging by the pace that Gerard Pineda was walking out there, this is more of just a, hey, just calm down, let's get it out here and regroup.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, of course, this early in the game, the last thing you want to do is start throwing arms up there. Baseball is such a short season. You go through so many arms, especially early in the season, trying to protect the arms of those that you're going to need down the stretch.
Yeah, because these kids, they play a lot in the summer, too. They play almost all the time now, so that's one thing you don't want to do is have a tired arm at the end of the year.
So the catcher, Micah Sanchez, the ever-dependable one, is going to step in. He's another one who seems like all these years been doing Eldorado games. And man, no pitch. Timeout was called.
Yeah, I didn't see the umpire raise his hands. He must have just said time.
Been a really good receiver for Jim Johns behind the plate.
Yeah, that catcher's a big position in high school baseball.
Up high in the count, 1-0. First baseman Fitzgerald's up close, try and cut off the run, as is Stagner over at third. Pineda and Trujillo playing for the double play. Stroman set again. Down the left field line, fair ball. 1 run's going to score. They're going to wave around another one. They've put 3 on the board, and they're still going. Garley and Hurtrich come in. Hola's going to go to third. Sanchez knocks in 2 with the double. Right down the left field line.
Now batting your third
And
baseman,
here comes Garrett Ham.
Garrett Ham. Pinch running for Micah Sanchez. Steven Cantwell.
Catwell's going to check in and courtesy run for Sanchez. It's all right. So Garrett Ham's going to step in with 2 more ducks on the pond sitting out there for him to get knocked in. So Eldorado's put up 3 already, and they ain't done. Infield's in. And that's to the right center field
in
gap.
the hole there.
No one's going to get it. 1 run's going to score. Another run's going to score. Ham checking out Johns, and he'll stop at second. Another two-run double. So he goes the other way. He knocks in a pair. And Eldorado jumping on Mr. Stroman pretty early here.
Yep, they're 5-zip already here in the first inning. There's still only one out, man on second.
4 consecutive singles, and then Sanchez comes in and delivers a double with the bases loaded, and Ham follows that with a double. And still only one out. Jackson grounded out, started off. Pitch is on the outside part, strike one. Man, you get Garley, you already think you get Garley a 5-run lead. I mean, wow.
Yeah, you could be in trouble. You could be in trouble.
I mean, the guy might only need 2 or 3 as it is, but 5.
And he had La Cueva's number last year when they had a little better hitting lineup, too.
Count 0-2. Last year was such a, I guess you can say, an interesting year, with this, especially within this district and these two teams. Down the other way is fall. I mean,
well, and I knew as soon as the seeding and everything came out in the state tournament after that best 2 out of 3 opening round, then you knew Eldorado and La Cueva were gonna meet, and you knew that Garley was gonna pitch against La Cueva. He just beaten them, throwing a shutout the game before, right before the regular season ended.
Right. La Cueva went through that spell where they lost those games, and we won't say why or how, but they come right back, and everybody still had them projected arguably to win it, and Eldorado put an end to that, like you said, in the first round over at Lobo Field. No balls and 2 strikes. Good move by Romero, and they count 1-2. Yeah, I agree with you. Going back to that, I remember we were doing that seating selection show.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm the only one that missed it, because I remember you jumped on it, Adam jumped on it, and right away you saw it, and right away you saw the matchup. And Eldorado just, in that state tournament, put together such a phenomenal pitching performance.
Well, then
wow.
Treadwell hadn't pitched since opening day, and he throws a 1-hit shutout in the championship game. And he also started hitting again, too. I think that made him a little better pitcher.
Yeah.
Because he got hot at the end of the year, Treadwell did. Oh, man, he was hammering the ball.
1-2 pitch. Got him. That's out number 2. And here's Roselle, the center fielder. So they've batted around here in the first. But as they say, that was then. This is now.
Now adding your center fielder, number 11, Matt Roselle.
And here we are.
Well, I mentioned to Coach John, I said, that 2015 would look real good on your scoreboard, because it's that 2001's getting a little lonely out there. I know, and I told Coach John that right after they won state, I said that 2015 is going to look pretty sweet on that scoreboard.
Always a class act to go down and do post-game interviews, and he right away. You got to talk to the kids.
Yeah,
it's about the kids.
He didn't even want to talk to
right.
us. And of course, we talked to Treadwell and Garley both,
right.
which was really there's another one.
There's a base hit.
He's going to hold them up, I believe.
So another single. And the top of the order coming back up, Chase Jackson. He's 0 for 1. So runners on first and third here, 2 down.
Shortstop, number 7, Chase Jackson.
I don't think anyone saw this coming.
Cardinal sin in baseball. You don't want to make 2 outs in the same
inning.
But your team's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Especially when you're the one that made the first out. Little dribbler to the second baseman, Trujillo. That's to center field, and Phillips is there, and he makes the first and the third out. But serious damage is done by Eldorado as they put up a 5 spot. At the end of 1, it's Eldorado 5, La Cueva nothing. You're watching Eldorado La Cueva right here on ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality or flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride delivers the best tasting barbecue chicken and ribs with the fastest drive-thru in the whole city. Plus, Albuquerque Magazine has awarded Golden Pride for having the best tasting breakfast burrito in town. For a great meal without the wait, come see us at any one of our 4 locations or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride, home of Albuquerque's #1 breakfast burrito.
El Dorado La Cueva getting ready to play the second. El Dorado puts up 5 in the bottom half of the first, and now due up for the Bears is Stanrich, Boren, and Phillips. But it's early, Tom. I mean, we got a long way to go here.
You never know. I mean, it's one thing about baseball. You don't have to worry about the clock. Here you have to worry about the sun.
The sun.
That ain't going to happen for another 3.5 hours.
We're all right. This time of the year, I think you can play 7. We'll talk about 6A baseball later on in the broadcast and maybe throw in some 5A and kind of talk about what's going on around the state, of course.
Boy, and I don't know. I'm sure that NCAA basketball championship game, I don't think you could ask for a better game than that.
So I take it you had the only perfect bracket.
Well, you know what? I did have Villanova winning it all.
Did you?
Yeah. But no, my bracket was anywhere not even close to being perfect. It was gone the first game. Of course, Michigan State. Yeah, Michigan State really knocked a lot of people.
I think so. I agree with you. Stanrich, Boren, and Phillips. Garley starting his second inning. Whoa. And that went straight through the net.
Right through the net. I don't think it.
We're going to get a new net in the offseason. I don't know what it's going to do for right now.
It looks like there's a few patch jobs in it already. I can see the different colored twine. God, if I was still working, I used to sell those nets. I might have a little $5,000 sale here.
1 ball, 1 strike. Just missed.
You all right, Nate? Keep plugging away. Build up.
As I say, if it didn't miss by much. It probably just that much off the black. 2 balls and a strike. That's lifted deep. Back goes Lujan at the wall. It's gone. And just like that, Stanrich steps in and takes Mr. Garley deep. And La Cueva's on the board. It's now 5-1, and he did not miss that at all, Tom.
Ain't nobody hurt. You're all right.
Nope. And like we were talking, it's baseball. It's just it's a game, and you got to go all the way to the last out. And the big thing is you got to make him hit the ball, which he did. He did get behind 2-1, and he was looking for that fastball, and he took a whack at it.
Boren's going to step in the DH. Phillips on deck. Kind of figured Lujan was going to run out of real estate pretty quick the way that ball was just kind of carrying. And that's one of the differences I've noticed about this park. If it goes out to right, it has a tendency to sail. That one was hit hard. If it goes out to left, it's gone.
Yeah.
It just jumps out of here.
Well, we're up here, too. This has got to be one of the highest spots in Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. You know, Garley, that's the kind of pitcher up there. Now he wants to come back and show the good stuff. Sometimes pitchers have a tendency to overthrow one.
Well, Garley throws it hard, so you don't have to swing hard. That's he's going to give you all the momentum you need to get it out of the park. Just nice, easy swing.
A little bit off. El Dorado faithful don't think so. They think that was all black.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on, Nate.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Boren, the DH. Here it is. Right back up the middle. Jackson with a nice play. Throws him out. That's 1 out, and here's Ryan Phillips, the center fielder. Yeah, there's something, as you and I both know about baseball. I mean, it's not a complicated game. See ball, hit ball. If you see it, get a good read on it. Like you say, Garley's going to generate the power for you.
Right. He's going to throw the ball over. He's been ahead of the hitter, every hitter except
Right.
the one that hit the home run. He's been out in front of him.
And at any level, that is the key.
Yes, all levels. And
That's an
what you
first
don't
strike.
want to do is when you got a 5-0 lead is walk the first two
No.
guys. Because that percentage of scoring, when you walk the first batter in
Yeah.
an inning, it's like 80% in high school baseball. He's going to score.
Just missed on the inside. There's that old rule of pitching. Strike
Well, that's
one.
the thing about him. You know, he's really on because when he misses by just a little bit.
Swing and a miss.
He hasn't thrown any real bad pitches yet.
He's hitting the mitt right where Micah's putting it. Just missing a little bit off from time to time. Up in the count here, 1-2. Rears back. Here it is. He was a little bit on it, and the count stays 1-2. And he's such a, got to give the guy a lot of credit too. He's such an intelligent pitcher, obviously, because he's going on to the next level.
Right.
But, it's one of those short memory things. Standridge just took him yard, and he has the capability to just, okay, tip my hat to you, congratulations, and I'll see you next round.
Yeah, once again, it was a nice pitch, a little to the outside, but he's close.
Yep.
I got to give La Cuevas hitters a lot of. They're taking that pitch, and that's hard to take when it's that close.
Swing and a miss. And that's strikeout number 3, and 2 down. And here's Derek Trujillo, the second baseman.
Now batting the second baseman, number 8, Derek Trujillo.
Another thing about pitchers such as Garley, they're going to give you perhaps, if you're lucky, one pitch per bat.
Yep. So
they're going to give you
better
one.
Take advantage
They're taking
of it.
advantage. They're going to give you one good look.
See, and Micah was out there in the outside corner, and that's little too far outside. But that's right where Garley threw it also.
Whatever happened to the Greg Maddox days? I mean, hey, maybe you stay out there long enough, eventually they're going to call it. But I guess in high school baseball, it don't work that way. Ball tip.
Boy, he was a phenomenon, Greg Maddox. For 90 mile an hour, he got more outs than anybody I know.
Well,
How many times was he a Cy Young Award winner?
You can say he reinvented the strike zone. After they could hardly wait for him to retire, so they could bring it back to where it belonged. Balled away in the count 1-2.
Well, he started out slow and he changed speeds on every pitch, and he hit his zones, kept it down.
Not overpowering, but just enough. 1-2.
And, of course, being a Cub fan, I was really happy when they traded him after his first Cy Young Award. I thought it was the greatest trade in the history of baseball.
I bet you were jumping for joy.
Oh, yeah. Also, when they traded Lou Brock for Ernie Broglio, that was another one of their great trades.
I thought that was you yelling at the TV.
Yeah.
Curveball
There's
got
his
him.
curveball.
Ring him up, sit him down. Got him looking. He had no chance. But Standridge goes yard and puts La Cueva on the board. And after 1.5, it's 5-1 Eldorado. You're watching
Streetline
Eldorado
Swimming is
La
New
Cueva on
Mexico's
Pro V.
premier swim store featuring the latest in training equipment and competitive swimming apparel. Whether you're looking for swimwear to lounge by the pool or something more professional, Streamline has it. With main brands such as Speedo, Nike, TYR, and Dolphin, you can be sure to find what you are looking for. And even if swimming is not your thing, Streamline provides uniforms for any sport you need. With no job too small and no setup fees, you can outfit your team with the best screen-printed and embroidery design uniforms. And with a friendly staff on site, our employees are always willing to help. Come and visit Streamline Swim Store and Streamline Athletics. Call us at 505-503-7460 or visit us at 6901 Gruber Avenue, Northeast.
We're heading to the bottom half of the second, and due up it'll be Groves, Garley, and Hurtrich. 5 runs pushed across for Eldorado in the bottom half, and just by getting that one run for La Cueva kind of settles down the nerves a little bit, Tom.
A little bit, yeah. They know that, hey, we can hit this guy. We have a shot.
Leading off for the Eagles,
I think, like you said, these kids actually play against each other so much. In fact, some of them might even play together on some traveling team.
I'm sure they probably do.
And so they probably know each other pretty well. So there are no really big surprises when these two teams play. Either they play against each other in the summer or they play with each other. And leading off will be Groves, and Groves singled and scored back in the first.
Yeah, and I know La Cueva's coaching staff has kind of turned over a little bit, as is El Dorado's. Mike Stell hung it up, and he was with Jim Johns every year he was here. This is his first year out of baseball. And Rick Engel and Bill Gracie both hung it up for La Cueva.
Well, Engel's out doing some traveling now, as you see.
Yeah, his son. Well, his son's playing in college, so he's out watching his son play.
Can't blame him for that.
Nope.
True baseball guys on both sides. Man, the stories they could tell. You probably have heard a lot of those stories.
I've seen them.
Stacking over to first for the first out of the inning, and here's Garley. Garley 1-for-1 with a single, and he scored. He saw some. Love it. I love his plate song. Every player has a song now when they come up to bat.
Yeah, that's the new deal now for high school, and they're doing a great job on the PA here.
Ain't he? Curveball is in there for a strike.
I know he's done this before.
A little bit. If he can play Barry Manilow for me, I'd be real happy. Curveball stays inside, didn't break, and the count 2-1.
I'm a Meatloaf fan.
If he comes up with Freddie,
stop right there. They have that. They have a baseball song, Meatloaf.
If he comes up with Freddie Fender, we're gonna be all right. Oh, little chin music for Mr. Garley. I wonder if that was a message.
He's giving Stroman a look, but
yeah,
Stroman went.
Well,
I just threw it. I didn't mean to hit you.
Well, the beauty about Stroman, he ain't batting.
Oh yeah.
So, needless to say, Mr. Garley will put that one in his back pocket for a rainy day. And yeah, here's a pitch, and he came after him again. And first time was some chin music, and that one got him.
Yeah, the first one was a fastball. That one was a curveball.
Yeah.
Number 3, Gavin Hertrich.
Hertrich is going to step in, and he singled and scored. Well, if this was Major League Baseball, we might be in the middle of something right now.
Yeah. Of course, that was a curveball. So
yeah,
if we were in the majors, that wouldn't have been a curveball if he really wanted to hit him. So.
Right between the numbers. Runner at first is Garley. All the way. You've seen Stroman throwing a lot of curveballs here this inning. Maybe changing things up.
Yeah, he. Of course, that's what he hit Garley with. Last one was a fastball. I think El Dorado had their mind set on the fastball when the game started.
Mm-hmm. Long look. Right below the knees. And the count evens, 1-1. Yeah, if you're a pitcher like any pitcher, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you have to adjust to that guy behind the plate calling the balls and strikes.
Yeah.
Batters will adjust to the pitcher. Pitcher sometimes got to adjust to the umpire. That's to center. Phillips coming on, can't make the catch. They throw down a second.
Sure, they almost got him at second, yeah.
Here's Cristiano.
It sounded like it was hit a lot harder than that, and it just fell in there, a little tweener.
I love the way his dad says that. Ojola. I've never heard it pronounced like that. I love it. Now, if I could do that, but Cristiano, ojola. I like that. He steps in. He has a single and RBI back in the first, and he also scored. So Stroman, a little bit of a jam here again. First and second, one down. And the first pitch, and a second hit batter of the inning. And once again,
another
they're loaded.
curveball.
Stepping in might be Micah Sanchez, and now he comes in with the bases loaded. He doubled his first time up, scored a pair of runs.
Now up the catcher number 10, Micah Sanchez.
Umpire comes on
Looks
over.
like La Cueva's got somebody up in the bullpen. I can't really see any numbers.
And now here comes a meeting up on the mound. Ryan Hoff is warming up. This is a long, slow walk, and this is one of those bullpen walks.
Well, I don't know, though. That's the pitching coach. So normally the pitching coach doesn't take him out.
Give the bullpen a little bit of time.
They got enough artillery on there with the bases loaded. They're bringing shin guards, elbow guards. They got guards for everything, boy. They ought to have some right guard. little deodorant never hurt any baseball player.
Long meeting up on the hill.
Well, the coach is gone. They're all players now.
Now they break it up.
Come on, Micah, stay hot.
Stroman ready to go back to work with the bases loaded. And Stroman will go out of the stretch here. The bases loaded and
One
middle
out.
will play back. Corners are up. Garley at third. Hurrich at second. Ola's over at first. And the pitch is away for a ball, 1-0.
Come on, Micah.
Stroman again with the look in with Romero. Phillips moves over towards the left field side and center, playing him to pull, and the pitch is away. Well, they're playing him to pull in the outfield, but they're throwing away.
Yeah, and I just think that's pretty much where they played everybody. I don't think it matters where he's throwing or who's up. They're just going to play dead straight away.
3-0.
The center fielder's about 2 steps to the right of the second base.
And the 3-0.
Here's the time called.
That's got to be frustrating for Mr. Stroman.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of the windup.
Come on, Micah.
It's kind of frustrating for any pitcher, really.
Yes, right. That was a little late, but he give it to him.
4 straight.
That's probably going to be it, I would guess. I don't know.
They walk in a run. Garley's going to trot in. Here's Garrett Ham with the bases still loaded and 1 out.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 19, Garrett Ham. Courtesy running for the catcher, Micah Sanchez. Number 16, Stephen Cantwell.
Stephen Cantwell will come out again, and it's courtesy run for Micah. Came around to score. Hamstead's in. He has a double and 2 RBI in his first trip up. And the pitch from Stroman is away, ball 1.
Well, I
kinda
guess I was
laboring up
wrong
there
there.
now.
I thought they were going to go get him, but they're going to leave him in.
And here comes Joar Pineda, and that's going to be the
Yeah,
end of the
he
day
let
for
him
Mr.
throw one
Stroman.
pitch, and now he's going to be done. I was only wrong by 1 pitch, huh?
We'll tell you who the new pitcher is when we come back. We got a new pitcher coming in, and the score 6-1 El Dorado. You're watching El Dorado and La Cueva on ProView Networks.
ProView Networks would like to thank Hi and Heather Roberts for their generous support of our mission to help raise the profile of New Mexico's youth and to serve the communities that support them. Hi and Heather Roberts are proud members of the American National Family of Companies and serve to provide life, health, auto, and home insurance to people like you.
It's going to be the new pitcher for the La Cueva Bears. Pitched 9 innings already this season. 8 strikeouts to his credit. Given up 10 hits. Faced 37 batters. We won't talk much about the ERA. We'll kind of leave that one off to the side. But
it's not 1.0. Is that what
no,
you're telling us?
that's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
But Stroman threw one pitch to the batter Ham. It was a ball, and Gerard Pineda had seen enough. He was just waiting for the signal. All good from the bullpen, and in comes Huff. But again, this is one of those situations where he's called on to just put out this fire right now, which is really blazing.
Yeah,
for
they
Eldorado.
can't. They can't let him get too far ahead. Then it's going to be very, very tough.
This is not what I'm just easily saying what Gerard Pineda expected. Obviously.
Oh, obviously not. No.
You know, you had Stroman up, the guy you wanted. Eldorado, you know, showing how patient of hitters they are, not hitting the ball exceptionally hard, but just hitting in the right spots.
Right, and they have hit a couple of real hard ones, but, you know, mainly they're hitting them tweeners, too. When you get both, then you're in trouble. Get a couple hit batsmen and a few hits, and you're in the danger zone.
Ham steps in. He has a count of 1 ball and no strikes. So Hoff's inheriting him, but he has the responsibility of Stroman. Down low, ball 1. In fact, Stroman's still responsible for the 3 on base. Rich Hola and Cantwell, who's the courtesy run over at first. And the 2-0, 3-0. And Romero with a nice toss back to the mound. You can always tell when the catchers get a little frustrated about it. He throws that ball harder
Harder than the pitcher.
harder than the
Yeah.
pitcher did. Come on, man, I'm sitting back here. Give me something. There's a
There
strike.
you got one.
Being a former catcher, I kind of get that. And back there and kneeling down, squatting, and you get ball after ball after ball. Those knees get kind of tired. Hoffset stays in the stretch. Bases full of Eagles, and the pitch is away. Everybody's going to move up 90, and Hurtrich is going to come in to score.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 4, Cole Shepke.
Shepke's going to step in.
You're going to run out of slots there on your scorecard, Rich.
He's a DH. He struck out his first time up, yeah. So he put 2 more on the board here. The bases are still